Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. In this series, we are going over Leetcode problems with Java Solutions. If you are not using Java for your programming language, please go ahead and follow along and try to attempt that in your target language. So today we are looking at Leetcode 217 contains duplicate. The problem says, given an integer array nums, return true if any value appears at least twice in the array. Return false if every element is distinct. So this is a fairly straightforward problem. They're not asking us to return an index of where we've seen it. They just want to know true or false, does this integer array contain duplicate values? So in example 1, they would return true since there's two ones here. And if we look at example 2, we're going to return false because each item is distinct. Now, if we take a look at that, that gives us a clue to what data structure we would need to use for this to help optimize this. So the naive approach is that we iterate for each item, each index, we're going to iterate and try to find its duplicate. But instead of doing that, that would be an O of n squared algorithm. We can use a hash set to keep track of what items we've seen. Now, in this instance, it's not asking us to keep track of the index, so we wouldn't use a hash map where we need a key and value. We just want to know, does it contain duplicates? So we're going to go ahead and store that in a hash set. So I'm going to go ahead and create that hash set so we can keep track of which values we've already seen in this integer array. And because we're not using the index, we don't really care whether, like, what index we've seen. We can use a advanced for loop on this. So int num, in nums, we'll say, the first thing we want to check is, does this number already exist in our hash set? So we'll check if seen contains num, immediately return true. We don't need to go through all of them. As long as one of them contains a duplicate, we can immediately return true on that. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and add that item, we'll add the number to our hash set. And now, once we've iterated through the entire array, if no item has a duplicate, if it has not seen its duplicate here, we'll just go ahead and return false, telling that every item in our hash set is unique and there are no duplicates. So we'll go ahead and run that, and our test pass. So this is a fairly simple algorithm to look at and just see how can we use a data structure, what data structures can we use to keep track of items we've already seen to avoid reiterating through an array multiple times. So this brings our algorithm from an O of n squared time complexity to O of n, where we're only having to iterate over each item once. That's it for this Leetcode problem. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below and I will get back to you. Thank you.